I can just pull it up myself. Hold on, or I can just pull this bloody thing up myself. Just a moment. And then just mute it. I'm live. Hello, everyone. I am in a state of utter chaos. As I'm sure you can imagine, given that this is my first experience with live streaming anything, that there's going to be hiccups. That is just the way that it is. I have no idea how many of you have joined. I am just very grateful that you're here. Really do appreciate it. And so I have individuals talking in my ear. I have people doing this stuff remotely for me because I'm too much of an idiot in order to be able to do it myself. So every now and then, if I seem distracted, it's because there's somebody talking to me. Bear with me. What was said?
Which means we have limited live communications with the recovery team.
Hello, Randy. How are you? Apparently, you're in the chat, and I am looking. Wow, a lot of people. And let me go ahead and just put a comment here. I am here. Da, da, da. Okay. So, hello everyone, and very glad. Thank you. Most, virtually all of you are from Europe or from Australia and New Zealand, of course. New Zealanders, a special welcome. This is an extremely important moment to your nation. The 20th launch of Rocket Lab, hence the term running out of toes. This is also an extremely important mission with Black Sky. If you are unfamiliar with Black Sky is the equivalent of the book 1984. I hate to put it that way, but it kind of is. They monitor everything that happens on the planet, from satellite imagery to streaming content that happens to be hitting YouTube or TikTok or whatever at any given second. And so they look at this stuff and immediately generate replies to the world. So they have the ability to let first responders, for example, the biggest example to me, the most important example was during the tragic Beirut explosion last year, when Black Sky was able to identify seismic tremors happening from that area, and then started receiving all of these uploads, all these streams from uploads from people who were there, and they collaborated that in. This is all AI, by the way. I think I want to call Black Sky Skynet. Because I mean, it is that smart. It takes all this stuff, it consolidates it, and gets that information to its customers. So for example, anybody who has money invested in Beirut-based companies might have wanted to sell all their stock, and I hate to sound so greedy about things like that, so Machiavellian, but the fact of the matter is, news is money, information is money, and that is what Black Sky is all about, is information, getting information before anybody else can. And by the way, if anybody is interested as to where the hell I am in a spare bedroom in my home because my son is here, and fortunately, he had to get up super early to go to work. He'll be going to work in 20 minutes. So during that time, I am with you. Where are my Kiwis? Where are my Kiwis? Text. Or put in some messages. When is that? When will they start recovering that rocket with a helicopter? That is unknown. They are still trying sea landings. They have a different method this time. They have a heat shield. They're going to bring it down slower. Parachutes, etc., and a lot of stuff introduced to the booster to try to prevent things that happened to the space shuttle solid rocket booster that made reusing it impractical, and they're trying to make this happen because it is far, far easier to recover a booster in the ocean than it is to try to grab it with a helicopter. However, this may not work. This is their second attempt, and they're using a
And
lot of
20
different
minus
methods.
12 minutes will be the
So,
ideal
that
3
being the
hour flight.
case, the
Remember,
parafoil
no
recovery
alcohol,
may be the
business
way
or
they have to
luxury
go.
on
I
board.
hope they do
If
it
listeners
because
have
then they're going
questions
to be able
before,
to
then check
teach
our website.
ULA how to do parafoil recovery with, with their engines. So that's going to be, is this a launch of a reused rocket? The title is questionable. Hold on. I don't even know what the title. Yeah, some parts are indeed
Also, looking for
reusable.
transmissions.
Just to be clear,
Robo
some
CQ
elements of this rocket,
looking for your status at your
yeah,
presumed launch.
there is flown and reflown hardware on this rocket. So this,
Yes.
yeah, sure, maybe it is
Ready
not
for go?
completely reused,
Speak on.
but parts of it are.
Let's go.
So, they're
Roger.
taking stuff that's been to space, that's
Speak.
splashed down
Systems
in the
go.
Pacific Ocean,
PLS.
and they're
PLS.
putting it into a new rocket and
Reusability.
crossing their fingers
Conversations
because
go.
they've never done
PLS.
this before. This is an
Vectors go.
extremely exciting
Mission
moment to
management.
Rocket Lab,
Engine.
beyond exciting.
Engine.
So
Recovery is go.
it's this is
LS7.
a big
Signal.
moment for New Zealanders
Go.
everywhere. Especially
LS7 signal.
yeah, if I were a New Zealander anyway, I would be
12 seconds and
excited.
counting.
This is a New Zealand company. I don't give two
Go for it.
shits
Signal counts.
what the
50%
media
readiness is
says
going on.
or what it
USA
officially
receiving
says.
feedback.
They based it out of the United States because our country is so
There you have it. That's
exclusive and,
confirmation
frankly,
from
in my
mission
opinion,
control
arrogant
that all
about
systems are
military
go and
contracts,
will be
thinking
proceeding
that
with
only
landing
American
of
citizens can
Starship.
be trusted,
Liftoff requested
because
for
there's no history of
10:08
American
p.m. New
citizens
Zealand
being
local time,
corrupted by KGB
10:08
agents
a.m.
and
UK
selling
time.
all of our
Now
secrets.
to this
Oh,
launch's
wait,
primary mission
yeah,
objective.
there is.
Running out of time, this
Lots
is
of
our
examples.
third mission
So I
to
don't
complete
understand
here,
why
and the first to receive a
a company
data-coded
based
launch
out
is
of New
this
Zealand
vehicle,
can't be
Black
trusted
Sky,
with
which
American
provides
secrets. But
geospatial
anyway,
intelligence and global monitoring
what are you gonna
services
do?
through their
What are you
low
gonna do?
Earth orbit constellation.
Bear with me for just a
The vehicle
moment.
will be launching
I
two Earth
am
satellites in
pulling up
50-degree inclination from
information,
Earth to Earth
and
1 and deploying them to
I
conform at
actually
80-kilometer orbit.
cannot see
Once in
what
space,
you
these
currently
geometry satellites will
see.
mean Black Sky
So
can
I
easily deliver
am
insights to
muting.
decision
Oh, wait, I
makers,
can't mute this,
responding
can
to
I?
disasters, or tracking economic
I can
activity
mute it
across the
on.
globe. Here's more from Black Sky.
Hang on. You may hear some noise here. All right, I just muted that, but I didn't mute myself. Can everybody still hear me? Can everyone? Chris, thank you so much, Chris. Generous as always. You are fantastic. Apparently, bad weather, according to the information. I've been up for 25 minutes. My colleague in the UK called me and woke me up at 4 something this morning to let me know that Rocket Lab was going live early to get my ass out of bed and to get going. So yeah, thank you for your support. And like I say, for what it's worth, guys, this is not coming to me free. I'm not saying I'm paying a lot of money for it, but it's not coming to me free. So any support that I can receive, I would deeply appreciate. It's all in the description. There are lots of different ways to support me. Super chat, of course, being amongst them. But thank you so much. And yeah, you guys can all hear me. So look, there's one thing that I really need to make clear to everybody. Rocket Lab is at a crossroads, a critical crossroads right now. And Peter Beck has responded extremely well. But Rocket Lab is now being faced by highly disruptive technology that is threatening their position in the small sat business, and that is, of course, Virgin Orbit. The fact that Virgin Orbit can take their 747, put it anywhere in the world that has a runway that can accommodate a 747, which is a huge number of runways, and then have some slight modifications made to the runway for fuel and that sort of thing, and then launch it. They just cut a deal with Brazil whereby they're going to fly from Brazil, fly directly over the equator where it is extremely ideal to launch from. They'll be one of the very first companies to launch from directly over the equator, and they will be able to send up a lot of payload. Rocket Lab cannot copy this capability, and so as a result, Peter Beck saw this coming. He has a lot of vision, this guy. He's very smart. And so what he did is that's why the Neutron is out there. He realized that what the Electron was doing was going to be facing competition that he wasn't going to be able to contend with. Virgin orbit being the most substantial of that. And just to be clear once again, this is not US company versus US company. That's BS. Both of these companies are based out of the United States because of the military contract nonsense. This is New Zealand versus UK. That's what we have going on here. It's very exciting. And Rocket Lab made the right move by coming out with the Neutron. The Neutron can carry so much more material out into space, including human rated. Human rated. They will be, I think they're, I mean, given the fact that they're just getting started on the rocket, I think they'll probably have it ready roughly at the same time that Boeing has their Starliner ready. So up, we are live. We are live. 6 minutes and 50 seconds to launch, guys. 6 minutes and 50 seconds. If you like what you see, please like, please subscribe. If you can support me in any way at all, please do. But once again, I understand, times are tough. What are you going to do? But that's what the Neutron is all about. The Electron, fully 3D printed carbon composites in here. It is the anti-Starship. It is incredibly light, and using Rutherford engines, and all 9 of these engines combined only provides a little bit more than 10% of the thrust of one SpaceX Raptor. One. That's all it does. That's how light this rocket is. It can launch on so little thrust and so little fuel. It is a marvel of engineering, plain and simple. I mean, you didn't pay me to say this. It is amazing. They are something else. I would give anything to interview Peter Beck. The man is a genius. And there he is, by the way. Defiant, completely defiant, whatever he's saying there. I don't have the volume on because you hear a backbeat.
I mean, I'd been here for 5 months.
Never gets old. I can.
It's mainly getting the customer's payload into space at game time.
Launch day
I'm
is
gonna go
space
unless you tell me otherwise.
I don't even remember
I'm gonna be
breathing,
quiet.
but it was worth it. It's a feeling you just can't describe. You just have to really be there.
I'm much more interested in the payload these days. So for the first few flights, it was all about the rocket. Whereas now, I get to know a little bit more about who we're launching.
Launch day is way harder than I thought it was going to be. I thought by the time you get
Thank
to
you,
launch
Mark,
day
for the
or
super chat.
some number, it would just be like, making coffee. Everybody's just so invested in each launch that there's always so much energy around each launch.
Hearing that our first light satellites come alive and things like that it's a totally different feeling than just.
Got a big fan in my neck of the woods. Well, you are up crazy early, my friend. Thank you.
And it's been incredibly exciting, but I'm even more pumped for the next 20.
So I'm super stoked about recovery from the quality engineering perspective.
I like the fact that you get to launch the next. It means that you've done your job right.
I mean, fundamentally, we must have a really good design. The fact that we can launch this many rockets, Electron's a good product.
Rocket Lab's secret sauce.
Please like, please subscribe. 147 of you watching, which is remarkable for this time in the morning. Thank you so much for tuning in.
A different group of people.
You guys are the best for tuning in to my first live stream, especially since I had to make last-second changes. I'm so delighted that this is working on the first try.
The 20 flights. Congratulations to every single Rocket Labber who got us to the pad today.
By the way, I have these people muted. Are they all New Zealanders?
Check in on how we're tracking to liftoff. The team are working no issues with the launch vehicle. Electron's payload remains healthy, and the weather is looking clear for an on-time launch.
We're approaching a critical juncture in the lead up
Will
to
there
launch
be any
now.
backfeed?
The switch to the
Okay, so
countdown
we
will
are
take
3
place.
minutes and
In
27
T-minus 2 minutes,
seconds
the
from
autonomous
launch.
flight
Just to be
computers on the
clear,
vehicle will
at 2
take over
minutes,
the
the
command.
automated
At
system
around
takes
T-minus
over.
1 minute
All
30
right,
seconds,
at
we
2
should hear the
minutes,
call
that's
that
when
box
it's
loading
going
is
to be going.
complete on
Now, it is
Neutron.
going
And then
to
shortly after that, we
ascend,
can
and
expect
then the
confirmation
first
that
stage
the
will,
launch
of course,
vehicle's first
disconnect
and
at
second
MECO at
stages
main
are
engine
pressurized
cutoff,
for launch,
and then
followed
it's
by the
going to
10-second
do a
countdown to liftoff
180
with
to come
engine
back
ignition
down
at
at the
T-minus
optimum
3
angle for its
seconds.
heat shield
Let's
to
hand over now to
protect the
mission
rocket.
control and listen
And
in for
then
results.
it's going to flip back and the parachutes will deploy. My understanding is that they may use the Rutherfords to decrease the rate of descent so that they hit the ocean at a nice, gentle pace, which is something that the space shuttle never did. So that may be what they're part of doing here. Black Sky, 2 satellites, 2 sats. That's all. Which, you know, this rocket is clearly capable of carrying a lot more than that. But Black Sky wants exclusivity. So you know that's why they're putting this thing up, and it's beyond exciting. 20 launches, 20 from this tiny little company that's already at a crossroads in their history. Beyond exciting. I love these guys. I love them.
So you heard it there from Mission Control in Auckland. Right now, Electron has entered a hold while our operators work on establishing a new T0 time. We'll continue to broadcast while we wait for an update from the team. In the event of an extended hold, we'll provide an update via our social media channels. Thanks for watching. We'll be back with you soon.
Yeah, looks like we're on hold. Again, this is very common in the world of spaceflight. This gives me a moment to talk to you, I suppose. The small sat industry is in a high degree of competition. High degree of competition. You know, where Rocket Lab had complete and utter dominance for the longest time, and now they don't have it anymore. And so, as a result, you know, they're just that's why they're graduating to Neutron. Neutron will be human rated. You know, Peter Beck has gone from launching itty bitty cube satellites weighing a few kilograms to sending humans into space, plus the mission to Venus. And just so you know, he's not the only one sending an interplanetary mission. Guess who else? Virgin Orbit. Virgin Orbit is sending a mission to Mars through a consortium of Polish universities, and he is sending a mission to Venus looking for life. And would not that be amazing? Amazing if Rocket Lab, if a private company was the first to discover extraterrestrial life. Oh my God, that would just be a breakthrough of epic proportions, and would also demonstrate to NASA that they have been screwing around for too long and should have been looking for life a long time ago. Hopefully that could change the entire culture of NASA. They could say, oh my God, there could be life everywhere in the solar system. You know, everywhere, if it can survive in the atmosphere of Venus. And this is what Peter Beck is out to prove to the world, is that there is life in the atmosphere of Venus. Exciting as hell. Oh my God, it's exciting. And it makes me angry as hell that NASA has not engaged in this and has not searched for life, you know, in an aggressive fashion. They had a life experiment in 1976 with Viking. According to Dr. Gilbert Levin, who is in charge of that expedition, they found life. And they didn't accept his findings. I mean, come on, you send an experiment, it comes out positive. It never had a false positive on Earth, not once, okay? But no, we're not going to accept it. Inconclusive. Well, why did you send the damn thing to Mars anyway if you weren't going to believe it? I believe that Mars is brimming over with life, and we just haven't looked for it. Yeah, launch time is now delayed. This is typical. One would assume that some sort of technical issue has come up. Anybody who watches Starship live streams, guys, you should be more than used to this. This is definitely something else. That's beer o'clock. At this time of morning. Oh my God. I think I would get demonetized the moment I took a swig from something. So anyway, all right. And the pub is open. The pub is open. Oh my God. Yeah. Well, let me look here. It's only 11 o'clock in the UK. They've already opened the pub at 11 o'clock. Yeah, I guess, but they have, haven't they? You lot love your beer, don't you? Well, I'll tell you, you got the best beer in the world, though. I was drinking Strongbow cider last night. So good. Oh my God, love it, love it. And by the way, sure. Okay. Apparently Rocket Lab had some sort of update for us. Once again, I don't have their volume on because it would create a feedback in what you guys are doing. So I'm just watching.
Upper level winds and have recycled the clock to T-minus 12 minutes. We'll stay on the live view of Electron on the pad while the team assesses those wind levels, and we'll
12
come
minutes
back to you with a new T0 as soon as it's confirmed.
We have reset to 12 minutes to launch. 12 minutes to launch, which means this gives me an opportunity to talk, although they're talking too. So I'll let them talk a bit. Unless you guys want me to talk, you guys go ahead and put in your votes. Okay. So how is NASA's issues are their fault or belong to the politicians? Well, the exobiology part is NASA's fault. It is the narrow-mindedness of the scientific community that they choose to listen to. There are several NASA scientists, including the head exobiologist in Huntsville for many years, who believe that we have detected life a long time ago, not just on Mars, but in meteorites. He believes this solidly and has a lot of proof to back him up, and nobody listens to him. He ran the exobiology department in Huntsville for over a decade, and they don't listen to him. So I would say that's largely NASA's fault, their narrow-mindedness. That's a curious thing. Hello to Sweden, and hello Jordan Ray. There's my Kiwis. By the way, any New Zealanders watching, does this make you feel patriotic? Even though this company is supposedly based out of America, we all know that's BS. Does this make you feel patriotic as a New Zealander? Just curious how you feel about it. If anybody wants to jump into the chat, any New Zealander. More Swedes. Hello to Sweden. I love you guys, by the way. All Scandinavia, Norway and Sweden and Denmark. Plus, I know Finland is not part of it. What's that? Hello. Badology, you are wonderful. Yes, Iceland part of the. As a matter of fact, I'm coming to Iceland. I am coming to Iceland in a few months, so get ready. I'm gonna go on the rampage. Badology says as a cutie. What's that? Yeah. If anybody doesn't know, I am moving to the United Kingdom, to Cornwall in particular, to cover Spaceport Cornwall amongst the other things happening in the UK. The reason I am doing this, one, is because I love the country. I've been there 8 times. I spent a great portion of my life there. I adore the UK. Number 2, there's so much exciting spaceflight. So much exciting spaceflight happening. Everybody, all my Kiwis are saying they're very proud of their country, and so you should be. This is an accomplishment of engineering that has not been done. The rocket, the Electron, all 9 of the Rutherford engines has just over 10% of the thrust of one SpaceX Raptor. 10%, and they can get to orbit. And this is why I have no respect for Blue Origin. None. Because the New Shepard, redesigned, could reach orbit. It's got way more thrust than the Electron. But guess what? It doesn't. They suck. It's just as simple as that. Okay. Yes, very proud. Hello from Ireland. Hello back. As Australian, I'm proud of the Kiwis. Yes, I'm certain that is indeed the case. Hello to my Australians, by the way. You guys are the best. Finns can be considered Scandinavian. You know, Finns would not agree with you. Finns are very different culturally and genetically as well. The Finns are an entirely different country, separated from Scandinavia. Iceland and Norway, Sweden, Denmark, those are the primary Scandinavian nations. Finland is their own thing. And I love them, by the way. Cornwall's super nice. Yes, it is. I've spent many a day on the moors, Dartmoor and Exmoor. I love it there. Love it there. Hello from Germany. Hello back, No Track. Yeah, meet up in Cornwall. Absolutely. I'd like that. That would be cool. Scotland to get a port as well. Yes, I've heard about it. That's really wonderful. Very delighted with that. Thank you very much. So once again, please like, please subscribe. Once again, any support I receive today is going towards my next planned launch. I don't know if that's going to be at the Cape or if it's going to be in the Mojave Desert watching Virgin Orbit do their next launch. I'm not certain where I'm going to go at as far as that's concerned, but nevertheless, this is something that's and it will support my move to the UK as well. Like I say, it's not your responsibility to pay my bills. Like and subscribe, and I will be very happy. But still, if there's any way to support, it's in the description to PayPal, all that kind of stuff. But once again, I'm going to stop begging for money. You know, thank you very much. I'll do a thing at, you know, towards the end, you know, and we'll just leave it at that. It is indeed live. Wild Atlantic Man, rather. It is live. Thank you so much, MF, for that super chat. Thank you. Seriously, this means a lot to me. Boca Chica cost me over $3,000. It was a very expensive trip, and you guys were so helpful. You were so generous, but it didn't cover everything. So it was a big investment, and not something I intend to repeat anytime soon. So it's 12 days. That was too long. That was just too long. Hey Juan, great meeting you. Do I think that Elon is that smart or whatever? If you think Elon is that smart, yeah, whatever. I'm not interested. Moderators, if you could please jump in. By the way, okay, 219 viewers at present. Thank you so much for joining in. So thanks for being being a supporter. Really do appreciate it, all you guys. Okay, so let's get back. You know, Rocket Lab, once again, you know, genius. This re-entry is going to be unique. This re-entry is going to involve the first stage going up, and then moments after Miko and the separation, the first stage, it turns to where the heat is going to get the maximum advantage of the heat shield for the re-entry. And then once it goes through max Q, not max Q on the ascent, but max Q on the descent, it reorients to engines first, to where the engines are going to be going first. I think that means because they're going to provide a little bit of thrust to decelerate. Thank you so much, Sausage. You are so kind. I really appreciate that. So they're going to get that deceleration and parachutes so they can have a nice, soft landing in the Pacific and hopefully retrieve a booster that they can use again. So very, very, you know, very, very careful, you know, very, very innovative. We'll see if it works. You know, can a booster be recovered from salt water and be viable, or does it just cost more money to, you know, to reuse these things? If you've got salt water, big question. And as many of us know, Peter Beck said that if he ever reused a booster, he would eat his hat. And then he did so, a small bit of it anyway, quite publicly. And so am I. If Starship makes it to orbit and lands successfully this year, I will eat a portion of a Boeing hat and I will experience extreme nausea during the process, no doubt, not because I don't like eating hats,
Quick update
but
from Mission
because
Control
I
here.
would be
As you can
eating
see,
a
we're
Boeing
currently
hat.
on hold due to upper level winds.
Rocket
Stick with
Lab
us as
is
we establish a
talking.
new T0 time. We'll let you know as soon as that happens. But today's window remains open until 12
We're sitting at 12 minutes.
a.m. New Zealand time or 12:05 UTC.
We've got some weather problems, which also is an issue, especially for a rocket as light as Electron. Winds can have a substantial impact on a rocket as light as the Electron. So for those of you unfamiliar with it, I'm sure most people watching know how this works, but you've got first stage, 9 Rutherford engines, each of them providing just a little over 5,000 pounds worth of thrust. So you're looking at 9 engines combined providing a little over 50,000 pounds of thrust. The Raptor is 500,000. Okay, so 10 times. The Raptor's 10 times more powerful. To put it in another way, and this is not meant as a slight, an Electron is closer to a model rocket in terms of thrust than it is to a Raptor. And so it's amazing that they can get this thing to orbit with so little thrust. What an accomplishment. What an engineering accomplishment. So little fuel used, green fuel, 3D printed boosters. But anyway, 9 Rutherford engines. It detaches second stage. 1 Rutherford engine. That's it. 1 with just over 5,000 pounds worth of thrust. And then they have a kick stage sometimes with what's called a Curie rocket, named after Madame Curie and her groundbreaking experiments with radiation and uranium that killed her, by the way. Just so you know, my daughter is doing the same thing. She is working as an intern with nuclear fusion this summer, and testing the effects of radiation on machine oil to see what will work the best in a fusion reactor. So my little girl, who was messing around with PlayStation controllers 5 years ago, is now handling uranium. And I have to admit, it scares me a little bit that she's messing around with radioactive material. But at the same time, all my physicist friends say that I've got nothing to worry about. But what can I say? Oh, Gareth, thank you so much. Cornish Cider Fund. I love the cider in the UK. It's so damn good. So damn good. I love Woodpecker. I love Strongbow. I love local bitters. Anybody who thinks that warm beer sucks, it's not warm. It's room temperature in England, and room temperature in England is cold. It's not ice cold, but it's cold enough for me. Tastes real good. Love English bitters. Always have. From the moment I first tried one when I was 19 years old. Really do adore it. Okay, so Batology, thank you. I'm having a look here. First orbital launch of Starship, splashdown, maybe the booster. Yeah, they are moving, and I have to admit, I am expressing concern right now with launching a stacked Starship too fast. That's a lot of fuel. That's 50% more fuel than the Soviet N1. And Soviet N1, when it exploded, shattered windows as far away as 35 kilometers. So I hope that they proceed with caution, because it could mean if that full stage stacked rocket blows up on the pad, Boca Chica, Mary's house, will probably be destroyed at the very least, and there'll probably be shattered windows in South Padre Island with the associated injuries. So I hope that they are super careful. I don't think that will happen. I trust the engineers at SpaceX. Still, accidents happen. Accidents happen. So especially if you are pushing things to the max. So anyway, let's see here. Am I on SpaceX Master Race? I could be. I'm on so many Discord servers. 4 to 7 spaceports in the UK are going to be horizontal launch. So a shift in how to compete. Yeah, the UK is definitely competing with Rocket Lab. There's no question about that. They are taking that on. There's more than one small sat rocket company in the UK that are looking to compete with Rocket Lab. The UK has the 5th largest economy on the planet. They have more money than the Russians. Why don't they have a space program? Well, they asked themselves that question, and they're developing one. So one of the reasons why I'm going is to cover this. That doesn't mean I'm not interested in SpaceX. I'll be coming back to cover SpaceX. Obviously, I'm from the United States. I know lots of people here. I'll be fine with that, but I want to cover the UK because nobody else is. And I would be, when is this baby rocket launching? Checking right now. They're still holding at 12 minutes. Weather conditions, guys. Weather conditions has an impact. Low level winds, that is a huge impact on a light rocket, guys. And it could be that we have a scrub today. You never can tell. This is an important payload. These 2 black sky satellites are expensive as hell. And just to reiterate, the black sky satellites are there to monitor every move we make as a civilization. They monitor from visual aspects. They monitor all online activity, uploads, that sort of thing, to get information faster than anybody else and provide it to their customers. Information is money, and they are providing this information to their customers faster than anybody else as a result of these satellites. It is truly genius technology, and that's why there's only 2 satellites, their satellites, on this rocket, nothing else. So this thing needs to go up, and it needs to be successful. So that's why Rocket Lab is exercising extreme caution, and I don't blame them one little bit. It would be stupid to press the button under these circumstances. Okay, yeah, waking up before 5 a.m. Yeah, I did indeed sound rough. There's no question about that. Okay, so let's see. We'll keep it going. Once again, please like, please subscribe. And thank you very much. I'm picking up some super chats here, and it's very kind of you. I do appreciate it. It will go to a very good cause. So enough of that. Rate of scrubs there is great. Yeah, it is. Rocket Lab has a huge level of success rate, especially being such a young company. I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of Rocket Lab, but I'm a big fan of Virgin Orbit too. I kind of like both. And Virgin Orbit is disrupting the whole small sat launch environment with the ability to take a 747 any place they want to in launching their rocket. So they'll be able to fly from Brazil and launch their rocket directly over the equator. They have that luxury that people who aren't launching a rocket from a 747 do not. They are going to disrupt this whole small sat industry big time. They're grabbing contracts like crazy. And Peter Beck saw this coming before it even started happening. That's why he announced the Neutron. The Neutron is going to be able to carry so much more payload than Virgin Orbit or anybody else he's competing with right now. He will become a competitor to SpaceX, not Virgin Orbit. And that's exciting as hell. That's very exciting. Yes, Black Arrow, actually, Dan. Not Black Knight, but Black Arrow. There's some sea launch capabilities with Black Arrow, which makes them unique. So Black Knight was the UK's first orbital launcher. I've just been informed. I'm sorry. There are gaps in my knowledge, obviously. There's gaps in anybody's knowledge, I suppose, but especially me. I do my best to research all this stuff, but things get by me, especially as an American. We Yanks are focused on our own. Oh, that's one thing I wanted to say, by the way. You can tell this is a New Zealand launch. Here, in America, we go Columbia, Challenger, Atlantis, Endeavour, and you guys go running out of toes. Come on. That's not something an American company would do. They do something super exciting, something huge, and you guys, come up with something that's clever, and it's clear. Rocket Lab's a New Zealand company. The whole the American headquarters thing it's just a formality. It's a New Zealand company, plain and simple. All right. Could Rocket Lab land a lunar lander with Electron, says Nikolai? Probably not. It can only carry up 8 metric tons, which would they're going to have to custom build a capsule that can go up with it. That's not the Crew Dragon is heavier than that, but so yeah, get to the moon. No, they can't do that. They'd have to build a bigger rocket. Right now, it's orbital and the ability to serve the International Space Station and possibly the Chinese space station, because New Zealand has a pretty good relationship with China compared to most nations in the world. And so there
Although
may
again, as
be,
you
and
can
I
see
would
at the bottom right
applaud
of the
this,
screen,
if
we are
China
currently
lets New
holding at
Zealanders
T-minus
on their
12
station.
minutes.
That would be
The team
great.
is assessing upper level winds to determine a new T0 for
And
today's
thank you
liftoff.
so much,
All
Wild
other systems
Wild
remain
Atlantic
go
Man,
for
for the
launch, so it's
€5.
just a
Very
waiting game for
kind. I
those upper
really
level
do
winds.
appreciate it.
We'll update you
You're
as
awesome.
soon as we have a new T0.
Okay, so let's see here. Let me look and see. Okay, so yes, we are still sitting on 12 minutes with a new T0. And just so you know, the Rocket Lab does not have the launch window that SpaceX does. They don't reserve, 12 hours. They reserve 2 or 3 or something like that. So if it doesn't go today and it scrubs, then we're going to be back here again tomorrow morning. But I hope they figure it out. Well, I mean, you can't figure out weather. It just needs to calm down. Across compatibility of the third engine program, the 35 and age-old stage. Yeah, that's true. What did I have for lunch yesterday? You think I know that at this time in the morning? Oh, I had a Panda Express delivered to me. I still get my food delivered. I'm in the first beginning stages of my COVID inoculation, so I'm still vulnerable to that disease. So I get my food delivered whenever I can. Record Lab, bit closer to home in Australia. Yes, like I say, I hope Australia embraces private space flight the way that New Zealand has. I think it would be a wonderful thing. By the way, I am wearing some of my merch. This is Mars Base Alpha. It's like a uniform, basically, for my idea. Well, not my idea. There's a ton of ideas to put a base on Phobos as part of a colonization effort. I think it's a very good idea, and so that's what I had this made for. So just so you know, in case you're interested, the links to my merch is all in the all on YouTube. Okay. Okay. Hang on. Why would it be? Okay. The description is all updated. Sorry, I'm talking to my consultant. Description's updated. At least it should be. I mean, I can see it. Can you guys see, if anybody wants to click on the description, can you see stuff in the description? Yeah, refresh if you need to, but it's all in the description, just in case there's another way you want to support the channel. And it's obviously, I mean, super chats are great, but Google does take a big chunk of that. So if you want to do it through PayPal or something, I'd be delighted. And of course, if you become a Patreon supporter, then you go on to Discord. PayPal is indeed mentioned. If you go into the description and go down to near the, bear with me for just a moment, and I'll show you where it is. And if it's that hard to find, I'm going to move it to the top. Just 1 second. It's below the Spaceship Mania part. It's like one of the last sentences in the description. I'm going to put it at the front. I'm going to put this as the first thing you can see. it's more obvious. In case anybody wants to. Okay. Thank you, Chris, for letting me know about that. And then I need to change exactly how that's worded. Okay. Done. All right. So once again, to reiterate on the recovery aspect, they are doing something different. This is coming back. They're reorienting the first booster of the Electron twice during the re-entry process. First, to maximize the effect of the heat shield, and second, to put the engines into so the boosters coming in engines first. I hope they cover the re-entry recovery process. They're using a new system called the Orca to grab the rocket. And keep in mind, it's way easier to grab one of these things than it was for NASA to grab a solid rocket booster. Those things weigh thousands and thousands of tons, or an incredible amount. The Electron is super light. That's why it's made out of these carbon composites, to make it ridiculously light, so that 50-something thousand pounds worth of thrust can send it into orbit. You can't do that with something. It's the anti-Starship. Starship is made out of stainless steel. This stuff is made out of something so light that you can almost pick it up with your hand. The Electron is that small, so it's very, very awesome. I am beyond exciting. What? I don't know how to explain that. My description, I think you may be going to the wrong one, although I did delete that other one. Yeah, just refresh. I'm checking one more time just to make sure. Yeah, it says if you want to make a one-time donation, here's my PayPal link. That's what's at the top. Now, it may take a minute for the internet to register my change. So that might have something to do with it. Who knows? Just 1 second. Let me have a look real quick. I did. It's done. I can see it right in front of me. Sit down. I don't understand. There's nothing else I can do. It just hasn't come up yet. It takes a while for whatever changes I make. Oh, now I can see myself. How about that? Hold on. I'm going to edit this from here. Let me try this. Good for you. You're awesome. Okay, never mind then. Now let me have a look. I have no idea how this wouldn't have shown up. I mean, I've edited things in my description a million times. Just sometimes takes a while to show. Mine shows something. I'm sorry, what? Refresh it. If you want to see it, refresh it. And you'll be able to see what's going on. Sorry to be holding you up with all this nonsense. This has nothing to do with space. So this is just, like I say, this is growing pains. This is my first time trying to do this. You know what I mean? So, it's tough. But no, they're still at 12 minutes. So they're still in a 12-minute holding pattern, guys. But I've got lots to talk about. Hey, anybody want to talk about the Senate bill to force NASA to add a second human landing system? Anybody interested in talking about that? Okay, you can see the links. Excellent. Yeah, the volume, the reason the volume is low, guys, I'm going to come in a little bit closer, is because I'm using a primitive microphone, because I can't hear my consultant if I have a good microphone plugged in. Okay, so I'm going to jump on this. The Senate has introduced a bill that has nothing to do with space, that includes a rider. That's something that works in American politics, where they throw something extra onto a bill. Thank you so much, by the way. Sods of Beaches. Okay, I will answer your question in just a second. They have introduced a bill whereby the NASA is forced to take a second competitor. They have added $10 billion US to allow NASA to do this, and they are forced to take a second competitor. Here's why this is a problem. I believe in a second competitor. I think there should be a second competitor. But whoever the second competitor is, they're probably going to get about $7 billion, and SpaceX is going to get $3 billion. Based on their original contract. They are going to get screwed on government funding, and Elon Musk will be the one suing. And the third company that doesn't get chosen, they're going to sue. That's why this is bad. That's why this is going to hold things up. And this is why Congress shouldn't have been such a bunch of morons and should have funded this from the beginning. Then they wouldn't have this issue, because this is not a fix. This is not how to fix this problem at all. So I hope it doesn't pass, but it probably will, because there's so many things in the bill that are important. So we'll see what happens, but it's even, like I say, as most of you know, I want competition in the HLS. I don't want it this way. This is not the way to do it. So yeah, very, very bad idea. But, you know, it's the U.S. government. Of course it's a bad idea. Or the government in general. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, let me go ahead and answer that question. Rocket Lab sent modular landing pieces. Could that work? Yeah, to answer your question, they have reused rocket parts in this rocket, and we'll see if they work. We don't know, but this is reused stuff. So that is a big question. That is a very big question. Yeah. Yeah, and the thing of it is, the reason why it isn't 50-50 is because both the Blue Origin and Dynetics proposals are like $7 billion. So obviously they're going to need the lion's share of this in order to proceed. SpaceX doesn't need that, because they have a billionaire paying the rest of the money. You think Elon's going to be happy about that? No. And so he's going to sue. He's definitely.
Another quick update from Rocket Lab Mission Control. We are still sitting tight on the pad, waiting for upper level winds to fall within bounds for launch. The clock is currently held at T-minus 12 minutes, so while we wait for that...
They are talking.
Let's take a look back at our first recovery mission.
Yeah, I've got too much going on to be active on Discord, just so you know. I have to have so many windows open to check everything, and so that's why I'm not on Discord. Well, hold on. I might be able to. Give me a minute. Let me try to see if I can get on Discord. If there's any questions on Discord, do a Q&A. No, this won't work.
First thing
because I'm chatting.
To reorientate the stage and get it in the right angle of attack. We've done that a couple of times before, so that was obviously.
I'm chatting on the next big thing was YouTube. I'm chatting on Discord, so I can't go in there.
And we ticked off.
This is how the audio is going
one by one in a very successful manner, and then ultimately.
So I do apologize to my Discord supporters, but don't worry. Special exclusive stuff coming to my Discord supporters, my Patreon supporters, starting today.
So the thing I'm most
starting
excited
today.
About reusable
okay, they're talking.
Is two things. One, we can offer many more flight opportunities because we don't have to build so many rockets. And right now, you know, we're pushing one Electron rocket off the line.
Hello, Peter.
Days. If we can reuse Electron, then we can create a lot more flight opportunities. Equally well, if we can reuse Electron and get them back in the condition that we're hoping now, it completely changes the economics of the small launch.
So I'm just letting Peter Beck do his thing.
Is really exciting.
There goes the kick stage. I mean, second stage rather, with the one Rutherford.
I guess something a few years ago that I didn't even think was possible, so that makes it even more sweet.
And this is the re-entry process. I really hope they show every minute of that. That's going to be cool. That's a soft-looking landing. And that was their first attempt. That's very soft. See how small those things are? But bigger isn't always better. Damn genius, that man. We're still in holding at 12 minutes. 12 minutes due to weather conditions in the upper atmosphere. More interested in hearing me than promos. Okay, guys, more than happy to. Does New Zealand look like it's stuck in permanent 1998 with all spike computers? I don't know. All I know is that New Zealand, their technological sophistication is obviously up there. The fact that they can get a rocket this, that they can get a rocket into orbit using 1/10 the thrust of one Raptor. 1/10 the thrust, and they can get satellites into orbit is sheer genius. That's sheer genius. They are amazing. Rocket Lab is something else. They are a force to be reckoned with. And now that they're going to the Neutron, they're going to be a real force to be reckoned with. SpaceX needs to take a look behind them because Rocket Lab is coming up behind on the inside track. And they need to look out because the Starship, yeah, of course, that's, the huge thing that SpaceX might use to dominate, but who knows how long this is going to take. The Neutron might be easier to develop than Starship. So we shall see. And a fully reusable first stage. Fully reusable. So, yeah, Jeff Hu, absolutely. Blue Origin, pathetic. Pathetic. They're not in orbit. These guys with 50-something thousand pounds worth of thrust are in orbit. Multiple times. This is the 20th time that they've reached orbit. Blue Origin hasn't been there once, with the richest guy on the planet supporting them. That is stupid. That's incompetent, and that is reprehensible. And I'm never going to change my view on that until they actually get to orbit and start doing something. I'm just disgusted with them. Hang on. Technical issues dealing with right now. Yeah. Morning, angels. Bear with me, it'll just take me a second. Okay, hang on just 1 second. You have to remember, see, the reason these guys are so useful to me is because I'm an old man who doesn't know crap about any of this. That's why I need these people. They're wonderful supporters. Wonderful. The best. Hang on. Okay, community, you said you sent me the email. Bear with me for just 1 moment. So we're giving manager permission to... Oh, bloody hell. Just a minute. Okay. Manage permissions. Oh, this thing is possibly going to send me a confirmation. This could be a problem. I may not be able to do it, but I'm going to try. Yeah, hang on. Okay, bear with me. Okay. Okay, just a sec. Hey. All right, I just got permission. Let me go ahead and check this. Technical issues, guys. All right. Cyclonics, you have the power. Hold on, I think you do. Just a sec. Done. Can you lot still hear me? Okay. Okay. Hello, everyone. Sorry about that. I was handling a little bit of technical stuff. I have another supporter in Australia that I was getting a little bit help from. Jeff will be icing his blue balls. Yes, indeed. Okay. Yes, please like, please subscribe. Any way you want to support this channel, and I'll be delighted. Like I say, I'll be deeply grateful. But this is a whole new feature. I want to make one thing perfectly clear. I'm not going to be doing live stream Starship stuff. I'm not. There's a billion people doing that. They're all going to be out. You know, they're all online. They're in South Padre. Forget it. I'm not jumping into that dogfight. I am going to be bringing you live streams of other rocket launches, things that are underreported. That's the kind of stuff that I'm going. Thank you so much. I got 208 people watching. Given the time of the morning, that is quite amazing. Do I like the single staged orbit rockets? I don't. I think that single staged orbit, you need to jettison weight, as much weight as possible to reach orbit. Mars is different. Mars gravity permits single stage a lot easier. I'm not as much of a fan of the concept. I think that you need to use the fuel and then get the hell rid of what's weighing you down. I do think the multi-stage approach of getting to orbit is the best way. Even if it's like a one-stage rocket with a bunch of solid rocket boosters, the way the space shuttle was, even if you're going that route, you still have to jettison the solid rocket boosters. Do I want to move? What's that? Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, I'll tell you something. I'm a busy man when it comes to my content. The trap with Starship
has resumed, and we are currently at T-minus
Rocket Lab's talking.
Counting.
Let them
Electron
talk.
might be the rocket on the pad today, but recently we announced plans to build its much larger sibling, Neutron. While we wait
17 minutes is what they're saying.
Back at that announcement.
17 minutes. Of course, a lot of you guys are listening, so that is indeed the case. Nighttime launch. This is going to be glorious.
When we say we're going to do something at Rocket Lab, we do it. Not just once, but over and over again. The Electron rocket defined a number of industry firsts. First carbon fiber rocket to orbit, in fact. Somebody told me once that was going to be impossible. and it's reusable. But then there's the engines. The Rutherford rocket engine, the very first 3D printed rocket engine ever to go into orbit. And in fact, also the very first electric pump cycle rocket engine ever produced. And of course, we didn't stop at rockets. We started building satellites too. Satellites to go to low Earth orbit, satellites to the Moon, to Mars and Venus and beyond.
Peter.
And there's a lot more to come. But first,
I really hope I don't have to do that, Peter.
There's a lot of things at Rocket Lab that we said we were going to do that we've done. And a few things at Rocket Lab that we said we would never do, which we have also done. So I really think with this project, it's about time I finally ate the hat. This hat is not tasty. But there's some things we said
That's true, he doesn't actually swallow it.
But we're going to build
I'm
a
not
big
sure.
rocket. It's called Neutron.
Look at that
Behind
fairing.
me is just the fairing. This is a purpose-built mega constellation building machine for all the mega constellations
You may
of
not have
today
swallowed.
and of tomorrow.
Look at that
It's an
fairing.
8-ton class launch vehicle, and of
Amazing.
course, it's
For a
reusable.
tiny rocket
But
company,
one thing that's probably
that's a
more
big
exciting
damn
and most
fairing.
unusual for Rocket Lab is that this vehicle is capable of human
I
spaceflight.
don't know, a lot of you guys have probably seen this ad before,
Launching 2024.
but I'm so excited about the Neutron. Oh my god. What a 2024. 3 years. I personally think that he's going to have the Neutron in orbit before Starship will have
We're all
be
incredibly excited
Just
to
my
bring
opinion,
Neutron to the pad,
but
and we
I
will
think
have
because it's
updates
simpler,
on its progress
more
coming
straightforward.
soon, we
Everything
promise.
about Rocket Lab is simple. We're at just over 14 and a half minutes to launch. Everything is looking nominal. So one thing to look for, guys, is the carbon fiber turns white as the fuel is reconfigured for launch. So it's very exciting visual evidence. Like I say, this thing is the anti-Starship. I mean, Starship is made out of just a bunch of stainless steel. We're talking, it's a Buck Rogers ship from the 1930s. I'm not trying to talk down about Starship. Amazing, amazing. But this is different. This is different. Starship, this thing could never make it to orbit if it was made completely out of stainless steel. It does have some stainless steel components, but it could never make it to orbit under those circumstances. And this thing is going to orbit under, with 50-something thousand pounds of thrust. Years ago, rocket experts, rocket scientists would have said that this was impossible, except for like sounding rockets and stuff like that, not to practically send satellites into orbit. Dan, you are for a UK meetup. Yes, you got it. You got it. We'll find a pub. We'll find a big pub in London or something like that. We'll all get together. We'll take over the whole bloody pub. It will be wonderful. I'm very excited. I've been to the UK 8 times, by the way. Adore the country. Sometimes the vernacular creeps into my dialogue, so sorry about that. So no, not Methylox. They use an entirely different kind of fuel. It is entirely different, very green friendly. Just to be no, I've never been to Bulgaria. I have never been east of Paris. I've been to Chartres, but I've never been east of Paris. Looking forward to it. Cornwall, love Cornwall. Dartmoor, Exmoor, beautiful region of the world. One of the most beautiful places anywhere. And by the way,
all stations LD on mission cord. Proceeding with the
so we're looking, obviously we have an oxidizer, most obviously rockets do, and then our fuel called RP1, which is very friendly to the environment, but entirely different. And once again, they're not looking to go to Mars. They're not looking for in situ propellant. So it's they're just very different on how they do it on every different level.
RSO is go.
Met is go.
Mission management.
Mission management's go.
Recovery.
Recovery is go.
LD sub.
LD sub go.
Executive.
Exec is go.
Go, no go sequence complete. We're at T-minus 11 minutes, 21 seconds and counting. We're go
Is
still not count to
impractical
T-minus 10
because
minutes.
Falcon 9 is heading to the orbit of the
effect.
primary payload, what the main customer is paying for. If your CubeSat's riding along, then your CubeSat sure as hell better be going to roughly the same orbit. Otherwise, you're out of luck. So if you have a particular orbit that you're headed for, as Black Sky does today at a 50-degree angle, then you hire these guys because they can do it for you dirt cheap. Or you hire a Virgin Orbit, or somebody else. But this has changed everything. Disruptive as hell. It opens space to so many organizations, consortiums of universities, little scientific organizations, people who could never access space before now can get to space because of them and because of Virgin Orbit now too. And now the Neutron is going to take it to the next level, taking humans into space cheaper than everybody else, unless Starship does it. But that's the objective. Let's take larger cargoes, people into space cheaper, into orbit cheaper than everybody else. Wow. And I just can't help but be excited as hell and be angry as hell at Blue Origin for being so inept, for not grabbing hold of this opportunity. It's like, okay, we're slow on the new Glenn. Let's build something like this. No, we'll just sit around and whine that we're not getting government money. Go for launch. The decision has been made. There's a go, no-go decision process that comes up a certain amount of time prior to the launch. They are go for launch. Bruce Hobson, thank you so much. Yeah, it could turn into a marathon, but maybe not. And then thank you so much, MT Chiron. We're getting some super chats here. You guys are fantastic. Dan Hemfer, you can the type the DSATs. Yeah, you guys are the best. Love you all. Let's get this thing off the ground. I am so excited. Plus a re-entry. I hope we get this live stream. Oh yeah, this is gonna be cool. Yeah, I hope we get it. Less than 10 minutes. Less than 10 minutes to launch, people. Beyond exciting. Beyond exciting. I'm so excited. I'm knocking my table around. Probably gonna end up breaking my laptop, which would kill everything. So I need to be careful and calm down.
All engine blips are nominal. All engines are ready. The stage terminal checks are complete.
Copy that stage.
I will be muted from T-1 to T+1. Bear with me for 1 second, guys. I will be right back. Continue to enjoy the broadcast. I've got a Keurig coffee going right now because I'm going to pass out.
Avionics LD mission. Go ahead. Proceed with sequence 54. AFDS enable for flight.
Okay, I want to be once. I guess there is an audio bug. I'm going to repeat what I said about the Falcon 9. The Falcon 9 can take up CubeSats on rideshare. But if you're going to do that, you damn well better be going to the same orbit they are. Otherwise, you're out of luck. And you need to wait, sometimes for years. Time is money, especially to Black Sky. They can't wait around for a ride share from a Falcon 9. They've got to go now. So they get Rocket Lab. Yeah. Right. So yeah, this is, and of course you got the kick stage, you have the photon. The photon, by the way, is Rocket Lab's pathway to Venus and to the moon. The capstone mission. Don't forget that, guys. For those of you unfamiliar with that, Rocket Lab is sending a mission to the moon this year. And they're going to be mirroring the lunar gateway's heliocentric, or rather, a halo orbit, the polar halo orbit that they're doing around the retrograde orbit that they're doing around the moon. They're going to mirror that with their capstone mission in order to determine the viability of that orbit and how difficult it's going to be to get into that orbit for the lunar gateway. So this is a critical mission, and NASA has entrusted Rocket Lab with this very important Artemis mission. Super exciting. Super exciting. I can't wait for that mission to start. Just under 6 minutes and 30 seconds to launch. Beyond exciting. Beyond exciting. As you can see, venting going on, all the stuff we're used to from Starship, but on a much, much smaller scale.
Affirmative.
So it's, again, exciting. Once again, a critical moment for Rocket Lab right now. Beyond critical. This, this 20th launch, it needs to go. This is one of their most important customers. This has to succeed, especially now with Virgin Orbit disrupting the whole environment that Rocket Lab used to dominate. They need this thing to go. So there's tension. There's tension behind this and a race going on. A race that Peter Beck is in to win with the Neutron. He's, like I say, this is brilliant strategy on his part. He knew that in the small rocket field he was getting into an environment where Virgin Orbit might be able to take too many customers from him. And he knew this before Virgin Orbit started getting all these contracts and came up with the Neutron. The guy is a great businessman and a fantastic engineer. I mean, he's just like, he's a New Zealander Elon Musk. I mean, come on, let's face it. The guy is, just as brilliant. He may not be as rich, but other than that, he's got everything Elon's got. And yeah, you Kiwis, you should be very proud of him, this company, and the achievements of this company. There are so many countries, so much bigger than you, have so much more money than you, have not done this. This is amazing, and props to New Zealand and to the people of New Zealand for accomplishing this just over 4 minutes and 30 seconds to launch. Everything is looking nominal, guys. Everything is being nominal. You see kind of like this mini tower that's been retracted. Everything looking very good. So I am beyond excited. I'm checking on my coffee. I'll be back in 10 seconds.
Copy that, avionics. VCON LD mission.
LD VCON.
Confirm flight computer as goes a green.
All as goes green.
Lock auto sequence and confirm.
Auto sequence locked.
All stations ready for auto sequence start at T-minus 2 minutes. This time LDs go for launch.
That makes life better. Okay, so we are at just 3 minutes and 30 seconds. 3 minutes and just under 3:30 now at this point. I'm getting on pins and needles. This mission is so important to Rocket Lab, so important to a company that I care very deeply about. Very innovative company, innovative private rocket company that has secured so many American contracts because they are as good as they are. They had one very public failure not that long ago. They certainly don't need another one. And I am feeling very confident that this is going to work. And I'm also feeling confident that they are moving towards reusability, recovering this first stage and making it even cheaper. Because let's face it, Virgin Orbit already has a reusable first stage, which is Cosmic Girl. Their 747. That's a reusable first stage. That's what they treat it as. So that's one reason that they're able to send up larger payloads into tougher orbits. And so, you know, with the ability to recover for stages, that's going to change a lot. But the Neutron will change everything. That will catapult Rocket Lab from Virgin Orbit's world into SpaceX's world and into ULA's world. And that will be a monumental change. And I am excited and optimistic that Rocket Lab is going to be successful here and they are going to pull off, you know. And yeah, I get angry at a lot of companies. I can't see how I can get angry at these guys. They have done so much with so little. Whereas Blue Origin has access to unlimited money and hasn't done crap. New Shepard is a 10-minute suborbital.
Stage 1 and Stage 2 tanks are pressed.
Muting. Muted.
Deluge activated.
T-minus 20 and counting. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
At T plus 30 seconds into the mission, Electron is well on its way to space after its 20th liftoff from the pad at Rocket Lab Launch Complex 1. We had a great view from the tracking cameras of the power of those Rutherford engines, with Electron clearing past 700, it's clearing well on its way to space right now. And very soon, Electron will approach max Q, or maximum aerodynamic pressure. And this is the moment when the forces against the launch vehicle are at their peak during ascent. So let's listen in for the call that Electron has cleared that gate.
Ship run 1.
Approaching max Q.
HVP discharge nominal.
Max Q cleared.
Trim ship run 2.
There's the call out. Electron has successfully passed through max Q, with propulsion continuing nominally. In about a minute, we'll be coming up to.
I am live again. We are heading towards Miko at max Q. May have passed through max Q at this point. Yeah, we have passed through max Q at this stage. Getting ready for Miko main engine cutoff. All 9 Rutherford engines about to deactivate, and the stage heading
ignition
back
of the sole
through
Rutherford
the
engine that
atmosphere.
powers Electron and the satellites to orbit. With that stage separation, Electron's booster begins its journey back to Earth, and so will begin our second Electron
Fairing separation coming up, guys.
We'll hopefully have a
lot
live
happening
camera
in a
feed on
short
that
amount of
first
time
stage
with
to watch
this
that descent take
rocket.
place.
An
But before we get
amazing
ahead of
piece of
ourselves, let's wait for the
technology.
call out for those 3
Small
events.
as it is, it's an amazing piece of
Stage 1
technology.
propulsion is nominal.
Unlike. Okay.
And Miko confirmed.
Successful separation.
Main Miko now achieved.
Stage ignition.
Recovery.
Now achieved second stage. You can see right now in front of you that single Rutherford engine from the second stage.
As you've seen, we've had a successful Miko and stage separation. No, there's been no ignition, sorry, but on your
control
screen,
room
we'll
cool
keep
as
that view
cucumbers.
and see what we can come back to you with soon.
My information is telling me we have successful Miko, and we have successful page separation. Sadly, we have lost live feed. It's part of space, guys. These cameras don't always hold up. So now at this point, we're waiting for re-entry of the first stage and the deployment of the payload, the Black Sky, all-important Black Sky satellites. Yeah, so fairing separation coming up. Exciting as all get out, guys.
Okay, so it looks like we've had a lot of telemetry. We'll come back to you with more information as soon as we have it.
Really magnificent. We're heading up towards battery. Data's dropped off. That can sometimes be a bad sign. It cannot. Depends. Yeah. It's not like this doesn't ever happen. It does under normal and nominal circumstances. So we can't necessarily assume the worst yet or anything like that. And I'm still feeling optimistic. But it is unfortunate that we're not getting any more live stream. Upper stage did light. We did have a light on the upper stage, guys. So we're good there. When the second stage went off, that's when the signal went out, which is to be expected. You fire up a rocket engine, and it can create disruption and havoc with your electronics. So this is not to be. This is certainly to be expected, guys. Certainly to be expected. So don't worry. The second stage did light, so we have every reason to believe that everything was nominal with this. No need to panic just yet. We're at the point where battery jettison should be coming out. And the first stage should be on its way back. But the deployment of the Black Sky satellites is, of course, of colossal importance. That's what matters more than anything. This is one of Rocket Lab's most important customers. So, like I say, having this level of uncertainty is always a bit shaky. This is a massively important customer to Rocket Lab. To lose this would be disastrous, but at the same time, I still feel optimistic.
An update
a lot
from
of this
Rocket
stuff
Lab
tends to
Mission
happen.
Control.
The
We are
cutoff
experiencing a
happening
telemetry
right
issue
at
with today's
second
mission
stage,
and
at
therefore
second
do not
stage
have
cut-in.
live views of the vehicle to
That's
bring you
not
at this
uncommon.
time. So we're going to end today's webcast and bring you updates via our social media channels. Thank you for tuning in to today's mission. We'll see you back here soon.
All right, the webcast is being ended. So we're not going to even show what's going on with the re-entry, it seems. They seem to have lost a lot of information. So I am going to keep you guys updated as to what has happened. I will keep you updated with shorts that I will upload in the course of the day to see what has happened. But it is, it isn't necessarily bad news, but it is a bit disappointing that we lost telemetry so early on in the launch, or that we lost cameras and such. That is unfortunate. But at the same time, it does not necessarily mean disaster. We just need to be patient, as always. Need to be patient. So yeah, according to our information, second stage did ignite, and that's when we lost not telemetry, but visuals. So anyway, I mean, you can hear the worry in my voice, and I'm not even invested in these guys. I don't own any Rocket Lab stock or anything like that, but I certainly hope that they were successful. But at the same time, there is utterly nothing I can do at this point except to provide you. Keep an eye on my shorts that I put out. I will be tracking this thing as events happen with it all day and giving you guys updates. But at this point, there is nothing else to show you. So there, just a quick announcement. I am going to be doing what's called Angry Astronaut Fast Facts. Fast Facts from Angry Astronaut. What that means is I'm going to be doing shorts every day. Well, 5 times a week is my goal. 5 times a week. 3 of them will be going to the general public. 2 of them will be going to my Patreon supporters. Okay, so if you want to be a Patreon supporter, $3 a month, then you get those other 2 fast facts. That's going to be information, 15-second blurbs that I'm going to releasing information and facts that you may not know. So, I'll be releasing 3 of those to the public per week, 2 more, minimum 2 more to my Discord supporters. In any event, that is entirely up to you. Entirely up to you. So I'm going to need to be disconnecting at this point. And I will continue to provide updates. I am also going to try a regular live stream tomorrow on a different topic, just because we had kind of a letdown a little bit with not being able to see so much of this visually. So you will. Yeah. All right, so guys, once again, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, please subscribe, and if in any way possible, please support the channel. I do appreciate everything so much. I appreciate you guys more than you could ever imagine. So until we are confirmed that we have a successful Rocket Lab launch, let's hope that this is what has happened and we just have some problems with the visuals and the electronics. I urge all of you to stay angry about space.